Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a question that pretty much every successful business owner has to ask at some point. What do you do when you feel like you've hit your ceiling? We're going to break down how you can actually achieve that 10x growth, even when it feels like there's absolutely no room left to expand.
You know that feeling, right? It's super common for entrepreneurs. You've poured your heart and soul into your business, you've built something you're proud of, but now it just feels like you've hit a wall. You look out at your industry and it seems completely full, totally saturated.
And I bet this is the thought that's running through your head. The market is tapped out, every possible customer already knows about us, there are no new customers left. But what if that feeling, that assumption that you're totally maxed out isn't the real story? What if it's just plain wrong?
Okay, so let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Because here's the thing, our source material makes this really bold claim. This whole idea of a saturated market, it's basically a myth. And it's probably distracting you from what's really holding your business back.
Here it is, plain and simple. The core argument is that your problem isn't a lack of customers. It's actually a lot simpler and honestly kind of more shocking than that. The real problem is that the vast, overwhelming majority of your potential customers have no idea you even exist. You're basically invisible.
I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. Over 99%. That represents the massive chunk of people who could be your customers, who would probably love what you do, but have never, ever heard of you. They can't pick you over the competition because in their world, you don't even exist yet. So do you see? That's not a saturated market. That is a massive, untapped opportunity.
Okay, so what do we do about it? Well, this is where we have to totally shift our thinking. Your path to 10x growth doesn't start with some fancy new product. It all starts with solving this one core problem. You have to stop being invisible. You have to get in front of that 99%.
And the way you do that is actually pretty straightforward. It boils down to three things. 1. Get on new channels. So if you're all in on Facebook, maybe it's time to see what's happening on TikTok or YouTube. 2. Try new formats. If you only ever do short little clips, why not write a deep dive article? And 3. Amp it up. That means either getting strategic with paid ads or getting creative and making content that's designed to go viral.
All right, so let's say you do that. You're getting more eyeballs, people are starting to know who you are. Now what? Where do you go from there? Well, that's where strategy number 2 comes in. A really cool framework for expanding your business in 5 totally different directions, all while using the skills and knowledge you already have.
First up, we've got the up direction. Just think of it as scaling up your entire model. You're taking whatever you sell to individual people, business to consumer, and you figure out how to sell it to other businesses instead. We're talking B2B or wholesale.
Here's a great example. Imagine your favorite local food spot. Instead of just selling one plate of food at a time, they could start selling their secret sauce in giant jugs to other restaurants, or even sell their whole business concept as a franchise. See what they did there? They're scaling their expertise, not just selling more plates. It's a total game changer.
Okay, direction number 2 is the complete opposite. We're talking about moving down. This one's for all the businesses out there that have always been the supplier, the wholesaler. And the strategy here is so simple, but wow, is it powerful. You cut out the middleman and go straight to the end customer.
So you launch your own website, you open up shop online, and suddenly 2 amazing things happen. First, you get to keep a much bigger piece of the profit. And second, and this is huge, you're building a real relationship with your customers and you're getting that priceless feedback straight from the source.
All right, next, let's talk about moving sideways. This one is all about looking at what you sell and asking yourself, is there one awesome piece of this that I could sell all by itself? It's about unbundling, taking one popular component of your main thing and offering it to a much bigger audience.
This example just nails it. A famous restaurant might only be able to serve so many people in person, but their dipping sauce, they can bottle that up and sell it online to anyone, anywhere in the country. You're basically bottling up a little piece of your magic and shipping it out to the world.
Okay, direction number 4 is all about moving into a new segment. And this is a big one. You're making a shift from selling a product to selling your knowledge and expertise about that product. Think services, think workshops, think one-of-a-kind experiences.
So with this coffee example, you're not just selling beans anymore. You're selling the skill of being an amazing home barista. This taps into a totally different kind of customer desire, and it creates this super deep educational connection with your brand. And last but not least, we have direction number 5, carving out a niche. Now, this isn't about getting more customers. This is about going premium, creating that luxury top-tier version of what you already do for a smaller group of customers who want the best and are willing to pay for it.
So you stop competing on price
and you start competing on an incredible, world-class experience. You're zeroing in on a smaller group of people who want the absolute best, and you give them something truly special that they just can't get anywhere else. Okay, I know you're probably buzzing with ideas right now, but hold on. Before you run off to start your new business-to-business venture or your luxury pet spa, there is a super important warning we need to talk about. It's a crucial piece of advice.
You know how it is. It's so easy to look over at some other industry and think, man, that looks way easier than what I'm doing. We all do it. But you have to remember, you're only seeing the wins, right? You're seeing the highlight reel, not the day-to-day grind. The hard parts, they never post about. And that really brings us to the most important point of all. Think about it. Why would you throw away all that knowledge, all those connections, that reputation you spent years building, just to start from absolute scratch in some new field you know nothing about? The smart move, the only move really, is to build on the powerful foundation you already have.
So, let's wrap this up. What's the game plan? That 10x growth you're looking for? It's not about chasing some shiny new thing in a field you don't know. It's a simple, two-step process. First, fix your invisibility problem and get in front of that 99%. And second, pick one of these 5 directions and strategically expand from your current base of strength.
So this framework really gives you a roadmap, a blueprint for growth that starts with what you've already built, which really just leaves one last question for you to answer. Looking at your business, your unique skills, and what you're passionate about, which direction will you explore first?